What is up, you guys? Happy new moon in Virgo. Eee. This is a mutable feminine earth moon, intellectual. This is Virgo is ruled by Mercury. And so this is a time where we are bringing things into perfection, bringing things into completion, bringing things into wholeness. So you might feel like you are wrapping up old soul contracts and lessons and cycles that maybe like don't serve you anymore, that you have graduated from, that you've moved beyond. Maybe you are feeling like you finally digested a period of great internal metamorphosis and transformation. And so maybe you had a lot of grief, a lot of shedding, a lot of highs and lows and peaks. And so now you're starting to come into more of like a grounded, stable period of harmony and flow. And so it'll be important that we establish routines and disciplines that are enhancing to our experience, that beautify our life. And they are the kind of discipline and structure that give us more freedom and more expression of ourselves than lesser so. So, think about like little things you can do that will be those habits that you've been breaking. What are the new positive habits that you want to implant and embody? What is the ideal day for you if you look to your future self, where you are in this next stage of your life, in this next chapter, fully realized, right? What does that day look like? What time do you get up? What does your diet look like? How much movement do you get? Do you know how to position your day so that your most creative hours are spent, at the right times of day doing the right activities? Do you want to do your focused activities in the morning, or maybe you're a night person? But you can rearrange your day and rearrange your life to have the freedom to arrange your day the way that it makes you the most fulfilled. That's what I did when I left film. I literally found a nice dinner place that was only open for dinner, not lunch, never working a double. And I work a few hours a night, and I have all day, every day, to use my daylight hours the way that I feel like make me feel like I'm living the most life, that I am experiencing all the things every day that I love to do. Some people like to do things at night. And so whatever it is, though, you can make changes to your life to adjust so that you can have a life that reflects how you want to feel. And I wouldn't tell you to do something that I haven't done, and I know it's possible. And now I love, if I'm picking up so many extra shifts that I'm physically just tired and I need to recharge, then I'm like, but I usually really enjoy work, and I'm never really stressed or unhappy. Like, I've found like it's enhancing it to give yourself an environment that you can thrive in. So I think that's one thing that Virgo is helping us do right now. And so this new moon is pretty special because it is in the 0 degree of Virgo. So it's the very, very, very beginning. It's like the Fool card in the tarot, starting out on a new chapter in a new journey. And if you've been watching the videos on the channel recently, we've really been like focusing on this moment, this threshold of walking into this new chapter. Well, the portal here is this fall eclipse season and going through the high holidays, where we get like our new soul for the year, and we download all of our blessings and light and embody that and put it into like our battery banks of our soul. So this is happening over the next couple of months, but it's starting very soon. So this is the last new moon that we're gonna have to really plant seeds and intentions for a while, other than like the fact that we're going to be focused on bringing that new soul in and just walking the line and watching our P's and Q's and trying to be in the highest, most positive, loving, sharing, righteous state that we can over the next couple of months. Now, So this month also has 2 new moons, which they're called a black moon. And it happens, I think I learned, every 3 years. And so this is really special because this whole month is bookended by the first, we've just entered into Virgo season, like yesterday or the day before. And now immediately after, it's like we have this new moon. Mercury has gone direct, which is Virgo's ruler, which makes it that mutable. It's so interesting because Virgo is an earth sign, but it's ruled by Mercury, which is an air sign, which is also like this liquid metallic element. It's so, Mercury is like everything. No wonder Gemini is like so mutable and can take on so many different personalities and aspects. So we are in the first of these 2 new moons, and the month of Virgo, the lunar month of Virgo, is all about, it's the month of Teshuvah. So it's the month where we prepare ourselves to have our spiritual new year. So we finish our old spiritual lessons. We, take our spiritual final exams in soul school, so to speak, and we prepare to graduate from that level and go into the next level. So what is happening through this month is it's sort of like a spiritual retrograde season where we will have opportunities and challenges and things that we will intersect with that will give us chances to redo certain quizzes and tests that might have come up through the year. For instance, I ran into someone yesterday who just a year ago I had like sort of I feel like a karmic passing by with, and we just had a nice exchange, and it was like, yes, good, but blessings to you, good, best wishes, no hard feelings, you're forgiven, I'm forgiven, we're all, nobody, no harm done kind of thing. And it was really interesting. So I was like, wow, we are really kicking off Teshuvah strong. And then, oh my God, last night, you guys, I crashed out. I did this weirdest thing came over me. I woke up, my alarm on my phone didn't go off. And so I slept longer than I intended to, and late in the night on the couch. And I woke up and there was this big SUV, kind of slowly going around the street out in front of my house. And it was pulling into the driveways and backing out of the driveways and then pulling into that driveway and pulling out. And it was just sitting there, and it didn't seem like any lights were on. And I don't know, I wasn't thinking straight, and something came over me. And I was like, I don't know what that is, but I don't know. I guess I thought they were casing the neighborhood or something. Honestly, it was I thought that the girl next door, who's also a single girl, she had some people doing work in front of her house, and I didn't notice her being home. So I was like, oh my God, she's out of town and they've come back, and I don't know, they're gonna break in, and I don't know why. I just was in half asleep. And so I went outside and I was gonna be who is out there? What's going on? 4 a.m. And I walked up, and it was just this woman who's a ride share, but there's no indication of ride share. I was like, oh God, I'm sorry, but who are you? What are you doing? Driving up and down the street, getting out of the driveways. She's like, I'm waiting to pick this person up. I was like, I'm so sorry. I just, thank you for saying that. It's just, there was some weird things that accumulated over the week, and I'm sorry. So bad. It's oh my God, what was I doing? I totally crashed out into a Karen moment. I'm what am I doing? I'm the neighborhood watch, apparently. Nobody's getting up to business on our street, apparently. So, oh my God, I'm just not that person 98.5% of the time. And then every now and then I'll just it's almost involuntary, a sneeze or something. I'll just do something wretched. This is I embarrassed myself to right after a Teshuvah success, it was Teshuvah fail. Okay, all right, stumbling block, a snare and a stumbling block. So then, so today marks the beginning of the lunar month of Virgo, and it's interesting because at the end of this month of Virgo, there's a second new moon in Virgo. Unbelievable. And that is our first eclipse that brings us into eclipse season. So Or maybe the full moon is the first eclipse, and then the new moon is the end cap of our eclipse season, is what I think it is. And so, yes, so this month is very powerful. It's all about like bringing things into completion, recircling around and meeting old themes again, and this time from a higher perspective, from a different point of view, from a different vantage point, with new resources, new tools, new strength, new resilience, new perspective, a new heart, a new soul from last year, right? If we, we're conscious during Rosh Hashanah, it's like every year we make the most of that, downloading that new soul every year. So we want to make the most of the month of Teshuvah, which sets us up for the greatest edict on our spiritual judgment day, when the heavens decide our blessings for the year. And so we are thinking back, how can we have done better? Where can we be more sharing? Where can we push ourselves out of our comfort zone? Where can we try harder and make more of an effort? Where are we being lax with ourselves? Where, we'd like to really follow through with the things that we care about, and the promises we make to ourselves. And so how are we going to step it up this year and be more of that higher self? How are we going to be less reactive, to where we can be in these moments where tensions are rising all around us, and we have to, like, that could have escalated into a dramatic situation, and like, I wouldn't have wanted that, and I wouldn't have wanted it for anybody. I don't know why, I have sleepwalking and like maybe like a little bit tipsy from my wine. But yeah, it was just weird. But the Schumann resonance spiked so high this week, also in the last couple of days, that it totally blacked out the scale, and it was just like a whiteout, or like a blank spot there for a minute, and we had an electromagnetic pulse. So as tensions rise, we need to be able to pause and restrict those moments where we want to do something, we want to react, we want to fix the situation, we want to confront the situation. We need to pause in those moments and say, okay, let the creator lead this situation. How does the creator want me to handle this? Would it be to do nothing and sit back and let it resolve itself, because the illusion, fear is creating illusions? Is it wait until I'm guided with specific, clear direction that's going to be loving and compassionate and patient, and wise, right? So, just learning to slow down and stop ourselves. And Marie Forleo says, check yourself before you wreck yourself. And so last night I did not check myself, and luckily I did not wreck myself. But yeah, I've felt so bad ever since. Which that brings up, so the opponent, the Satan, there's a male Satan and a feminine Satan. And so basically the male Satan sets the initial trap. Do you take the bait? And so the male Satan got me when I went outside, like the sheriff, and I was like, what is your business here? What is the meaning of this? And then, so that took sparks of light, right? But then what takes even double sparks of light, and it's so interesting when we finally learn like the rules of the game and we can play like active players. When the feminine Satan comes, she sets the second trap, which takes double the points, double the sparks of light. And the feminine Satan's trick is that she makes you feel like shit about yourself. She makes you feel unworthy and shameful and guilty, and she makes you shrink in your emotional inward spiral. So think about that, the masculine and the feminine representations here. The male Satan, the masculine, it gets you to take the action, right? The outer expression. And then the feminine Satan damages your self-respect, your self-love, your self-worth, so that you go into an even deeper, lower downward spiral of low vibration, right? So one of the themes of this month is that we go back to that original moment in the Garden of Eden where Adam and Eve chose to eat of the fruit of knowledge of good and evil, and then open the world up to pain, suffering, death. Before that, we were completely one with God. There was no shame. There was no separation yet. There was no knowledge of good or bad. We just knew what was good, and we could look at any plant in the garden or any animal and know what was harmful because it was really clear. There was no confusion. It was like, oh, that's poisonous. No, I don't feel good about that. I know to stay away from that. This is good. Go to that. And so before we ate the fruit, everything was clear. It was obvious what was right and wrong, good and bad, light and dark. But after the fall, the veil was drawn, and that absolute understanding and knowledge was hidden, concealed. And so we would look at the fruit and the vines and not know what was poisonous exactly. And we wouldn't have absolute certainty. We have to go through a process of sometimes pain and suffering trying to figure it out. So too with life, in the modern world, and as we have our comings and goings, what is the right way? What is the wrong way? Am I going down the right path? Is this right or wrong for me? Is this going to be good or bad for me? And so we have to learn to correct for that sin of Adam. And so all of us come here as these souls, and our process in life is basically what we're doing to turn that lead into gold from that original fall, from the world of paradise, from the world of the light realm, where we weren't really physicalized and we were immortal and perfect. And it was sort of like Barbie world, where you don't have to take the shower, you just stand there and pretend, and you sit with your waffles and you don't even have to eat them, you just pretend to drink your coffee, and you awaken with perfect hair. It's just everything's perfect all the time in the Garden of Eden. We weren't in our physical skins yet. And so when Adam and Eve were, they started to take on all these negative emotions because they introduced their mind with the ego. The birth of the ego happened. So that fall was in the fall, literally in Virgo season, at the end of Virgo season, in the month of Libra, is Adam's birthday, the soul of all mankind. Our birthday's in Libra, the new moon of Libra. So Rosh Hashanah celebrates the birth of all mankind. So we tie into that. Okay, how have I been working on changing my darkness back into gold? How have I been reclaiming those sparks of light that were lost to the darkness? And so we do that by overcoming our own shortcomings and our own flaws and our own tikkun, right? And our tikkun, we've learned, is sort of it's like karma. It's our soul contracts and assignments for each life to correct from our negativity in past lives, and also the cumulative negativity in this life. So we try not to add on too much to the pile, but we keep doing it anyway. It's sort of like laundry. It just keeps piling up. So we just keep working on it. So think about the main themes that you've been working on through this year. Which parts of your personality have you been the most challenged with? Where would you like to finish strong? Where do you want to atone and repent? And these words sound heavy and almost judgy and punishing, but they're not really. They're like paying our spiritual debt. It's like getting it's like spiritual tax season almost. And so this is where we get our taxes in order, and we pay our taxes for the year by trying to make right and realign and get back on path and get back into our authentic higher self and reconnect if we've gone off astray, but make that effort, make that proactive effort to search and do that self-inventory and then make our grandest effort to make those last minute changes and transformation and metamorphosis to really change our consciousness and our heart and our actions and embody that going into the spiritual new year. Because this isn't just a new spiritual year, it is like the beginning of a chapter in a new timeline where we are launching the complete new, fully loaded, downloaded self. And we're starting out now, and there's going to be new storylines starting to build. It's like we have our foundation, we have our wherewithal, we're coming online, and now it's like we're entering into the first real season of the Netflix series Us, and we are the main character. And so we're going into this new show, and so it's going to look like our life, very similar, but there's going to be new opportunities coming in, old characters going out, new characters coming in. We are going to be living from a definite, noticeably more elevated self than we have been in the last couple of years. Our trajectory has just put us on this growth pattern that has been exponential. And so when you look back on last year and the person that you were and the state that you were in during the end of last summer, you might feel like how drastic the difference is, right? Think about, I mean, even though the world events have brought outer pressure, when you think about your own personal existence, have you had more peace and more flow and more fulfillment than last year, or less suffering, right? Do you feel like things are lightening up for yourself? Do you feel like you're getting more clarity, more direction? Do you feel like you're living with more purpose and therefore you're feeling more peace inside and things are starting to grow and become healthy and develop again? Because I feel like a lot of us were living on scorched land for a while. And we might have looked at that land and thought, oh, this earth is dead and it can't grow anymore. And I've exhausted my soil and this is it. But really, it just needed to lie fallow. And I think that beautiful new growth is coming. And I think this is our season. So hang in there. This is a beautiful brand new start. So we want to get really, really, really clear and intentional about the seeds that we're planting for this next 6 months, for this next year. So I would say that definitely tonight, tomorrow, over the next couple of days, get your nice little new moon, full moon journal out, whatever you use for your rituals, and really get in there and write your specific intentions for the seeds that you're planting and what you want to see grow this year and what you want season one, the new revamped, what is it called? Not revamped, not rebooted. I guess maybe reboot, the reboot. Like they picked it back up. It's revived. The show you, right? What is this season going to feel like, right? Maybe don't get concrete expectations, but feel into the essence of it. All right, let's do our Celtic cross. And so this, Mercury has finally gone direct. And so we are in the Mercury ruled season with Mercury direct. So new, fresh ideas. Our messages recently have been encouraging us. You've got fresh new ideas, nurture those, tend to those, cultivate those new ideas and that new inspiration. So this first card will be us in the context of this moment. Ooh, true love. Y'all, there's been so many love and romance and soulmate and like partnership and kindred spirit kind of like vibes cards coming out. So I feel like because we've done such an overhaul in our healing, we grew really fast. And so it was like our radio station couldn't find the right frequency to settle in and send out that signal to draw in a person yet, because we haven't settled into ourselves. But now we are settling into ourselves and we are embarking in this new direction. And so because of that deep healing, we are now going to see the outer results of upgrades happening. So that might mean windfalls of resources and money and gifts coming to you, new experiences, meeting new people, maybe new love coming in. But when we heal our self-worth and we deepen that, and that those are tied up with Venus themes, that also affects our Venus themes of love and money, particularly if we've been healing our mother wound, which also ties into love and money, because all of those affect our self-worth, how we feel about ourselves. So what's crossing us now? Balance, spending, and saving. Now is a time to find the Goldilocks zone between miserly penny pinching and lavish spending. Be practical, but not too strict. If an unexpected opportunity or expense comes up, meet it with a sense of abundance. I love that. I can't wait. This coming week on Labor Day weekend, I am going to Florida with my mom and my sister. And we're gonna we have a condo on the beach, and we're just gonna be beach bums, and we're gonna sit in the sand, and we're gonna have like one of those 7-layer nacho trays and just eat and go to like our favorite little like kind of like biker shanties and do all that kind of thing and just eat food and walk and have a Golden Girls kind of trip. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to just brine in the ocean and be a mermaid. I can't wait. So, that was something that I didn't logically see myself as being able to afford, but I took a chance and I said, you know what, God's gonna make a way. And my lodging and airfare ended up getting covered. I planned on buying my own plane ticket, and that ended up getting covered. And so now it's just like food and fun. And I'm so excited. And then there was this charge that ended up getting debited back to my credit card. And so my credit card paid itself off. And I was like, oh my God, that's so crazy. And it was my tanning bed membership, because I bought it, like if you buy for the year, it's cheapest. And I haven't gone at all. I just haven't made an effort to go. And it just got put back on my credit card. So I'm like, wow, that's so amazing. So I keep watching, it hasn't come back. So I'm like, wow, what a miracle. So when something special comes up, don't be so hard on yourself that you have to miss out on celebrating life and having important experiences and, valuable experiences and meaningful experiences. I can't wait to go spend this trip with my mom and my sister. We've never taken a trip together. So we've taken family trips, but never just like me and her and my mom. So I'm excited. And but also like watch where you're burning your money. I know a lot of my coworkers, they buy like energy drinks every day and like little snacks and things like that. And it like that adds up to like quite a lot of money through the month that could be directed elsewhere. Now I love Vice. I love the vices. So pick your thing that you're like, this is my creature comfort, and this is, the kind of thing where it makes a difference in my daily experience. But then the other things that you could probably do without, maybe trim those. Be intentional about how you are using your money and how you are stewarding your money, but you don't have to be cheap with yourself. And then you can be starting to grow savings and interest earning accounts. And that's always fun to watch your money growing interest, even if it's just a little bit. It's super fun. And then you guys, my poison ivy is even better than it was yesterday. It's almost gone. All right, let's see. What is the underlying subconscious influence in the situation? Oh, going in circles. So we are meeting patterns again, but you know what happens when it appears that we're just going in circles? We're actually spiraling up. So be prepared that you are going to feel like you're going in circles right now, because you're going to be meeting these like similar temptations or tests or moments where you could be reactive. And so take them as they come and try your best to be aware and present so that you can anticipate those challenges coming. But as they come, Just know that, like, if you can meet that in a different way that you have before, if you can be more healed this time, if you can overcome your nature to want to be reflexive in whatever way that your easy nature is, it's like you're growing outside of that nature and you're expanding above that. So do your best and keep on looking forward. Don't get down on yourself if you make a mistake, okay? But don't repress it either. My Kabbalah teacher brought up a great point in this one of my recent classes that I was watching. And he was saying, what's the difference between restriction and repression? And repression is when we feel an emotion coming up, say we're mad about something and we're flabbergasted about it. And repression is ignoring the anger and putting on a happy face and just gritting and bearing it, and then continuing to be around the same environment that created the anger. Whereas restriction is feeling the anger, but not reacting with it, observing it, and then asking God to help us have a different feeling about it. Help us have a different perspective or see it in a way that's different so that we can feel differently about it. So that we can navigate the situation differently and we're not charged with negative energy when we try to proactively meet that situation. So that our consciousness from the start has shifted in a positive direction so that we can change the trajectory, right? Does that make sense? So restriction is like going into a process and trying and praying for help to transform the way that you think and feel about the situation. Whereas repression is when you just try to stuff it down and control yourself, or like deny a feeling or push it away or ignore it, or be in denial. So we're going in circles, but that's good because it's showing us what we still have in our subconscious that needs to be broken or cleaned up or disrupted. Okay, so the next card is going to represent the lesson from the past that we are tying up, that's almost finished. We're almost out of the influence of this. Say what you've been needing to say. So something needs to be said or clarified. You won't know until you say something. So clear the air, put your cards on the table. An honest discussion will act as a catalyst. You won't know until you speak up. You need to communicate something in order to resolve the situation. The air needs to be cleared. The damage is mounting under miscommunication, lack of understanding, lack of communication, and poor boundaries. Sometimes problems occur because we just don't know what someone has needed, but it's their responsibility to communicate their needs, feelings, preferences, and deal breakers. The same goes for you. Healthy communication requires vulnerability, wisdom, compassion, and an open, patient heart. Before communicating, pray that the Creator will tell you what to say, if anything, exactly when and to whom. It may mean having a loving exchange soul to soul with this person before you ever approach them in the physical. Before you confront this, ask, can this person even hear me? Will this do more damage than good? What are my real intentions here? Is it easier to say something or stay quiet? You're probably being asked to do what is less comfortable. All right. What is crowning us? What has potential to come into being? Ooh, Shabbat, Sabbath. I love this. Taking a rest, appreciating those days, at least one day a week where you completely turn off and let yourself rest, and use that time to strengthen your connection with the Creator and do something that gives you a connection with life and with beauty and with appreciation of the Creator who's in all things, right? So I know for myself that having these little rituals throughout the week is like, it changes everything about how I feel and move through the world and the experience I have through the week. But I absolutely love taking, observing Shabbat in some way on Friday, not going to work, staying home, lighting the candles, praying over the candles, the wine, the bread, having an extra Kabbalah class that day. Having a quiet, slow Saturday morning. And then I like to extend it into like having a nice Sunday morning too. So Shabbat, the Sabbath, holy, sacred rest, pause, a cosmic womb, rhythms, introspection, spiritual renewal, sacred rituals. So this new moon is the last chance for the next probably 5-6 weeks or so that we can really plant new seeds and see those grow. Because once eclipse season and the high holy holidays start, it's kind of like starting new things at that moment. It's just, there's not going to be enough of us. We have to focus on drawing in that new soul, and being present in those weeks without building new things. Like, we can continue to work on things that have already begun, but that's not going to be a good time to start new intentions. So if we want to get something started that we haven't already started recently, now is a good time to set those intentions and take those initial actions before like the eclipse season, before spiritual New Year, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot. And so once we're out of that, then the last couple of months of the year, it's like we can kind of get into that setting the vision for the next year to come and using those last weeks how we can. But we get into the holiday season and everything ramps up around October, November, December. So this is kind of that last couple of weeks to really get that like scholarly work in. Ooh, I gotta get under the couch 1 second. Oh, here we go. Ooh, save your money again. The save your money card comes up. So right around the corner, there is probably something that is going to be worth saving it for, even if it's just getting good money habits going. But it says not right now. Why spending and saving? Conserve your funds. There's a better option waiting. Be wise with your money. Practice healthy frugality. Not a good time for spending sprees or big purchases. You have something special to save for. Learn to grow your money, invest in your future, feel abundant, appreciating all that you have in this moment. Okay. So, that's another thing I was thinking this holiday season. I'm going to be mindful about, spending and eating, and it seems like you do all this work through the year and then you just kind of blow it all in December, in November and December. So I'm going to try to, be really mindful through these holidays. Ooh, okay. So our perspective affecting us now is lucky chance. Jupiter has been aspecting with Venus recently, so it's been expanding our Venus themes of love, beauty, security, money, abundance, all of those things. So a lucky chance, good luck, a blessing, and good opportunity. Now, sometimes this card, when it's a positive card in that position, it can indicate that we have a hard time believing in the positive, like having faith in the positive outcome. And so I think that maybe we have a hard time believing that our luck is changing, but we have every outer indication that it is. And we've been putting in the work and we've been diligent. And so we have no reason to believe that things aren't shifting. Okay, so the next card represents our outer circumstances that are affecting us, and it says, keep the love tank full. So, like, if you've been putting in all your effort into something and you're feeling just like you've burnt the wick at both ends and you're starting, your gas tank is just low, be mindful and make an effort to keep your tank full. Like, part of this Virgo energy is helping us perfect our routines and making them so that they are sustainable and they enhance our life and bring the most fruit from that. So, like, showing yourself love, knowing your love languages, and pretending like you are your own lover, right? Giving to yourself, making sure that you are well taken care of and that you're doing good things for yourself. So love languages: show your love, taking care of each other, give yourself to your partner, do something thoughtful for your partner. So, and if you are in a relationship, make an effort to give to your partner's love languages and express also the ones that you need also. And then if you are single, then, like, for instance, in Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way, I think those are all the right things that I said. They're like, part of her practice is that you take yourself once a week on an artist date. And it's like something you do by yourself that really entices your curiosity and your creativity and gets your inner child playing. So I think that's another way you can keep your tank full. All right, so the next card is our hopes and fears. This says, pay attention to your dreams. Record and interpret your nightly dreams. There are messages for you. Practice lucid dreaming, astral projecting. When we sleep, our souls travel into the astral realm for cleansing and education. Make your sleep space clean and sacred. Protect with salt and crystals. I like to use dreammoods.com for my dream interpretations, but I think literally this is like, pay attention to the guidance you're getting in your dreams. Keep a dream journal if you can. Like, the first thing when you wake up, remember all the symbols and things that you can articulate from your dream, and then you can look them up A through Z in dreammoods.com, and that gives you, to me, those are always such accurate interpretations, even though the website itself is very rudimentary. But also too, I think that with the hopes and fears card, pay attention to your dreams. It's like, don't get so caught up in the mundane and the rat race of life that you are neglecting your dreams. Like, pay attention to your dreams. Follow through with the routines that you have set aside for yourself, right? If it's a writing practice, show up for that every day. If it's whatever it is that you have, that you do, right? If you are a cook or whatever it is, like, show up for yourself and do those things. Pay attention to your dreams. Work towards them. I feel like the only regret I really ever have is the time in my life that was wasted on just burning daylight hours and not actively, like, devoting my energy towards my gifts and the things that I'm passionate about. So the final outcome, we have vibrational resonance. Yay! That is good news. So affinity with, and harmony and flow. You are embodying the vibrational frequency of that which you desire. You are very magnetic right now. Evaluate your energy based on your vibe. What are you attracting more of? So I love that the law of attraction is activated and we are vibing to attract what we desire. So I'm excited about that. So our Moonology card, show the world the real you, full moon in Aquarius. Aquarius is the rebel. It's the original thinker, the far out person that is like the one that marches to the beat of their own drum. So I think that it's important that we are really in touch and embodying our authentic self, because that's going to call in the opportunities that will truly resonate, and we are going to call in the people who will truly resonate. So I love that. Ooh. Oh, this is good. Love this. We have 8 of Wands, which is fast movement, fast advancement, good busyness, things happening. So too much going on, stress caused by many positive opportunities, unexpected events or rapid changes, the ability to multitask, and business travel. And then the other cards that came out with it were release, which is like all of the things that we're doing during the Teshuvah, the month of atonement, and during eclipse season. That's like we're releasing anything that's not in alignment with our authenticity, that's not our highest good, that's not in our forward trajectory, it's not in alignment with our next higher destiny. We're letting all that go. We're letting the death and rebirth and renewal happen. So that on the other side of it, we are receiving all of this light and all this abundance. And so this is that all the effort that we put in is like putting spiritual energy into our spiritual bank account, and that is going to translate into the beauty ahead in the year to come. So literally right now, what are the seeds that we are planting for the next 6 months, the next 12 months? So the good you do comes back to you, an unexpected inflow of abundance, borrowing wisely or paying off debt, sharing your wealth with others less fortunate. Ooh, so I have been trying to make a practice of stretching myself to really tithe every week. And it's kind of scary when you are living very close to, your means. And so, but that's exactly when it's the most effective, when it's actually costs you something, when it's a challenge to do it. That's when you reveal the most light, the most miracles. So I've been using my tithe to give to charities that give 100% of the aid that they collect, and then they have like private donors that keep the overhead and all that to keep the company going. But I've been giving to aid for Gaza, and I've also been using a portion of it to donate to the Global Samad Flotilla. So they're getting boats from individuals from all over the world are coming together, and they're setting out from Spain, and then they're going a little further down, I think to Tunisia, if I'm not mistaken. And it's happening. The first group are making birth on August 31st, and they're leaving from Spain, and then they're going down to Tunisia, and they're getting the second group of people gathered like beginning of September. So this is incredible. And so there's going to be dozens of boats who are going to attempt to break the illegal siege and get aid into Gaza through the Mediterranean, I guess is the sea. So I'm like watching this like on the edge of my seat. I think it's one of the most incredible efforts of 2025, because also what's happening is like there's these marches that are happening where people are on foot going from Egypt to the borders trying to get aid through. And there was even an effort where they were throwing bottles of grains into the sea, and the currents actually were able to get some of the bottles washing up on the shore with the grains in them. So people are taking it upon themselves in determined persistence to help, to be an act, a vessel of sharing, of kindness, of life giving, of nurturing, right? These are the actions that we take. We feed the hungry, and we give water to the thirsty, and we protect the widow and the child and the orphan and the sick and the stranger in our land. And so people are taking it upon themselves as individuals to organize, and it's really incredible to watch that we have like such a contrast, that we're looking at absolute darkness and evil, but then it is actually I guess offset or the backdrop of this incredible light coming in as well. So let's pray that we can continue that light coming in. There is progress through lawsuits tied to Native American efforts to protect the Everglades and environmental conservation acts. Federal judge has ruled that they have to start dismantling Alligator Alcatraz, and so they can't build any more onto it. There are reports that it's having to shut down entirely, but then I heard one thing that was just like, it was just like stalled where it is, and they're dismantling it. No one new can go. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, but there's progress there too. So even though things look so dark and so hopeless and so bleak sometimes, like, you know, it's just us against these people who seem like to have so much power. The light has more power than they do, and what God wants will happen. And so the good will prevail. And so it's our job to just keep fighting for goodness and keep showing up persistently, trying to share the light and share goodness and to help others. So we have the first tarot card for a little bit of clarification that came out was the Death card reversed. So we are like on the other side of a major transformation, and so the greatest part of the change is underway, and now it's about just not resisting all the things that have already set themselves into motion. If we cling to things that want to change, eclipse season will rip those things out of our dead lifeless fingers, and that's where the chaos comes from. So letting go, following the current that the Spirit is taking you on, the Holy Spirit is guiding you in this direction, letting the change happen, not resisting, but surrendering to the current of life and where it's taking us in this moment. Ooh, we have, it's my deck upside down. It is. Turn that back around. But we have Queen of Swords in reverse. This is a good reminder this month to be careful about not casting evil eye or evil tongue, and trying not to become reactive. So the Queen of Swords reverse is not a trustworthy woman. The Queen of Swords upright, she's a pretty respectable gal, but the Queen of Swords reversed is the one that gossips and says things, that does evil tongues, negative speech. She might be judgmental or critical. So we need to make sure not to judge people, not to be overcritical, not to be doing evil tongue or doing anything that can cause harm to someone's reputation. So maybe be really mindful where you engage with how we talk about world events and the people in the center of those things over the next month, because we don't want to do anything that will defile or sully the fresh energy that we are building upon, right? So the more we can restrict evil speech, evil tongue, evil eye, bad eye, we want to inject good eye. We want to look at people and try to look for the best in them. And then, like, if we can't find the best in them, then turn our attention elsewhere. But we really do not want to set ourselves up for any extra negativity this month. Okay, Page of Swords. So instead of obsessing over the issues and focusing on things that are going to keep us upset, like stay well informed, but also stay focused and enthusiastic on the things that you're creating and working on. The Page of Swords can be an enthusiastic student in the research stage, or someone who is going down a rabbit hole or a deep dive. Someone who's enthusiastic about helping, but sometimes they're a little bit haphazard about their methods or their approach. So we are refining how we show up proactively for life rather than sword swinging, throwing spaghetti at the wall in a reactive consciousness. We want to bear affinity with the light of the Creator. So we need to have cause consciousness, where we choose our vibration and we choose our consciousness, and we don't let other things disrupt that. Whereas effect consciousness severs our connection with the Creator, cutting us off from that light, protection, and blessing. And it happens when we become affected by the situation, and then we want to react and we want to fix it, and we were reacting to the illusion instead of just saying, okay, this is happening, but my changing my fulfillment and my inner peace is not going to add any kind of, like, my peace is going to bring more peace to the situation. So me getting reactive to the situation is only going to create more chaos and add to the chaos. All right. Okay, 9 of Swords reversed and 4 of Pentacles. So the less we try to control our situation, then the more like at ease we will be. But the more we try to control our situation and hold on to the illusion of control, the more anxiety and the more suffering we will have. And so the key to finding that inner rest is at some point letting go and trusting that the Creator has got our back. Like, we give our best, we do our due diligence, we do the best we can, and then the Creator has to just take care of the rest. And so when we do that, when we come at it from that place where we know that the Creator is ultimately in control, the Creator is what's keeping us sustained, then that actually gives us the most stability and the most consistency and the most security and the most safety. All right. Let's grab a few cards about our manifestations. How should we direct our focus and our intentions planting these new seeds in this huge new cycle? Ooh, divine magic. Love that. Extra magical energy surrounds your situation right now. Expect miracles. So no need to go into depth. This is literally what we've been talking about the whole month. It's like the more effort we put in, the more we will get out. It's like the symbol of the turkey. The more you feed your turkey, the bigger feast that you will have when it's time to eat turkey for a feast, right? So the more you put in to your soul, your dreams, your ability to have positive, healthy relationships, the more you will get from them in return. Ooh, make a wish. So we have a magical energy surrounding us. Now the universe is like, let's make a wish. Say your prayers. Let us know what you want. What do you want from this next year to come? This is a magical moment. Make a wish and enjoy its manifestation. So tonight, tomorrow, the next day, this is when you want to make your wishes and plant your seeds and write those down. What exactly do you want to come of this year? What seeds are you planting? What intentions are you setting? If you had a magic wand that you could wave, what are the ideal results that would come from your efforts this year? Worthiness. So in order to attract those in, what is that sound? Pipe? Water related? I don't know. There's like all this. Now it stopped. It's weird. It's really strange. Huh. What if somebody like turned my hose on outside or something? So strange. Okay, so worthiness. Worthiness is what we need to inject into the situation. So like we said before, when we were talking about Venus healing and mother healing, we're healing our self-worth, and that expands the vessel that we are able to take in more light and receive more, right? But if we don't feel worthy, then we sabotage ourselves and we turn away blessings when life tries to give us goodness. Time to move on, break free, oh my goodness, and explore your options. So there's something that you've like reached the your pinnacle at this point, and it's like, okay, break free from, maybe there's like a habit or a routine that you need to break free from. Maybe, you know, it's time to explore a new company to work for, or a new lifestyle choice. But there's something that it's like it's time to move on from something that you need to break free of, that the weight of it is like taking up space in your life, that if you make that space open, then the universe is going to bring you your next opportunities within that. So whenever we sacrifice something and we create a space, the universe loves a void. It loves to fill that void. So what is it that needs to change or shift, and then make that necessary change and explore your options. It's time to make adjustments, right? Like for instance, with this channel, it's not that I'm not going to continue with it, but I don't think it's going to have a sudden surge of growth, but I think that I have taken in like the information that I need to apply to a second channel. And I think that one is going to be more searchable and evergreen. And so do you see what I'm saying? Like taking it into a different direction, or, exploring more options, like creating a Substack with it. I'm just using this as an example. You might have something all your own, but just consider what are you tweaking? It might not mean that you have to like break something down entirely and completely overhaul something, right? It could be adjustments. Okay, so for our love life, we are dealing with our codependency. So we're healing this. And so I was talking to somebody in the comments recently about how I'm not great at going into depth about describing codependency, but there are different kinds and different types. And so I noticed that when I did a Google search, you know how if you go down a couple of results, there's like an AI summary of everything. It kind of gave like an initial explanation of some of the key things to look for and like common dynamics. But codependency is like how we relate to others. And it's like a situation where we fall into like the same kind of role, like dual roles every time. And it's like, that's how we define ourselves, is like as this compared to that, rather than being autonomous and interdependent. It's like somebody completes something and we complete something for someone else. Like the healer and the wayward one, like the lost one and the savior, the addict and the enabler, maybe it's the trauma dumper and the listener, people pleaser and the narcissist, the empath and the narcissist is a classic. So there might have been different types of narcissists or relationships within your life over the years where you had different levels of and different types of codependent relationships with people and with things and substances and whatnot. And so now being able to relook at that with more self-awareness and reflect back and see where that codependency was. But I think that's kind of like one of the focuses of our homework coming up. Worthiness and codependency, two themes. Okay. It is safe for us to love. So it's funny, I had that dream the other day that seemed to indicate that I was like, I had a fear that I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared for this romantic situation to play out, but it was like, no, you are prepared. You are ready. And I was like, oh, okay. But open your heart and give and receive the highest energy of all. So be prepared. We could be meeting someone very soon. Past life, you have known each other before. Past life relationship. So during the month of Teshuvah, past relationships can come back around to resolve things or to, look at them differently or forgive and learn. But maybe this new person coming in, we've kept getting cards that it's like somebody we've known before. It could have been someone that we've known in a past life, and maybe we haven't met them yet in this life, but maybe we knew them in a past life. So we'll see how that happens. And then, this could be too something that comes up to resolve so that you can move forward and meet, someone real that's going to continue on. It's not just about correcting karma, but it's about like going on a trajectory of growth together. Love yourself first. So again, re-solidifying the love and interdependence. Like when you are interdependent, it's like you can take care of yourself and you know how to meet your needs and you're happy enough on your own. but another person would enhance your life. You don't need them to get by. You don't need them because you're so lonely. You don't need them to live out the dreams that you want to live out. It's like you can be autonomous on your own, but this person would enhance your life. And so you're able to open yourself to a person, bringing them in and integrating them into your life, sharing your life with that person, not being completely consumed with that person, not completely abandoning yourself, but sharing your life and integrating your two whole people together. That's like healthy interdependence. But it happens when you love yourself first. And so that way you're like, I love myself. I'm not going to abandon myself. So I'm going to protect what I've built. And then when there's someone worthy and trustworthy and in alignment with this, then they can gradually be integrated into my life in a healthy way that's sustainable and you can build on a solid foundation. All right, let's get some motherly advice from Mother Mary, Mother of Angels. Ooh, patience. Things are coming together. We just have to wait it out for divine timing. Oh my God, I trust in divine timing. Love this. Patience. Patience is a virtue. It's going to be soon, but we don't know. So just be at peace for now and just know that all is in its right place. Everything is falling into place right when it's supposed to, and everything's already taken care of. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give unto you. Weren't we just discussing having peace? It was literally what I was saying. So peace I leave with you, peace I give unto you. This is Jesus' words. Awesome, you guys. Well, that is all. I think that was a really great and exciting reading. What do you think? I'm excited about the month of Teshuvah. I think for the first time, I'm really excited about it. Well, here we go. Onward and upward. Ciao.